Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto. I hope you're having a great day. So I gave you what my outlook was yesterday. Every Sunday we're going to try to do that, tell you what I would do with $1,000 in the crypto space. Obviously, I'm going to DCA, when you're in a down market. But I wanted to touch on a few things that, I think are really good for the future, right? The first one is Polygon CEO. This is pretty slick. Polygon CEO Wyatt reached out to, projects on Twitter just saying, hey, look, listen, if you want to move over to Polygon, I got you, babe. So we'll get into that because I think that's pretty cool. PersianCapital, he is an amateur investor and self-proclaimed critic of crypto. He suggested something that CZ and Vitalik have both kind of given the thumbs up on. So we'll get back to that. It's all about, how Terra can move forward, that kind of thing. And something that I find is really cool is Grayscale starting its first crypto ETF in Europe. Now, I say these things to you because I look at everything that's going on as a positive push to the future, right? As the market is, just sucks right now. Let's just call it what it is. It sucks. That there is a future to what's going on. And these three things, have kind of given me some perspective, a little bit of negative with a little bit of positive, and I can kind of look at things differently and, and see how I feel about things. Polygon CEO, hats off to you, bud. That's the smartest thing you could do, is give these projects some place to go, like directly on Twitter out loud, say, hey, look, listen, we've got a strong network. We've got a lot of projects on here, and we're willing to help you out to help you move your Terra projects over to Polygon. Now, on the flip side of that, wow, that's some gangster shit, right? That is some gangster shit. But really, I mean, everybody knows that I absolutely love Polygon. And the reason why is because it is what I call connective tissue. It does a lot of, building itself out to be, a part of the Web3 backbone, right? And that's huge because that is the future. And when I say future, I mean, like, it's coming in now. Right? It's coming in now, and it'll take some time for adoption and all that other good stuff. And this is what I mean by looking toward the future, because you have all of these things that are coming together that will help people get there, right? Grayscale doing an ETF, their first European ETF. Grayscale having private conversations with the SEC. That means that there could be some positive movement with their US ETF on crypto, right? Now, when you look at these things, if you're going to create an ETF, for crypto, that also means that you're going to help educate your clients and customers. And that has a certain amount of reach, not to mention, all of the education that everybody else is doing, that I'm doing, that all these other people are doing to help people understand what crypto is, how it can be leveraged, and why you should invest in it, or why you could invest in it, and why you actually could use it, and where, right? So when you look at these things, it's kind of like, wow, that's not so bad. So adoption is going to happen. It's sort of like, I have a sister-in-law who, when Web 2.0 got here, she was like, I am not putting my credit card on any website. And guess who has Amazon shipments? Just saying. It takes time to win people over. It takes time for people to adopt. It takes time for people to actually finally catch on. Look at Tesla. The electric car has been around for decades, and I mean really long time. But what happens? That's Stitch acting up. But what happened? It took a really long time for people's minds and the public to actually open up and want to accept the idea of an electronic vehicle, of an electric vehicle. So when you look at Web3, it's just another one of those things that's going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of education, and then adoption will explode to a point where you'll start to realize, like, wow, how were we not doing this before? I told you yesterday about a soccer club that's jumping all over that. I told you about how AMC Theaters, their online sales, 35% of it was crypto, was paid for with crypto. There is a lot going on that points me toward the future being bright for the crypto space, and not just for investment, but for use. For use. That's the big deal. So when I look at all these things, this is what I'm pointing at. That's literally what I'm pointing at. Now, with regard to PersianCapital, this guy is awesome. Amateur investor, crypto skeptic. And he was like, listen, you could take 99.6% of the wallets out there, of the poorest wallets out there, and make them 100% whole. That's true. We're talking about people that only have, that don't have that much money tied up in it. You can make those people whole first. Because people that have more money than that, right, that have more money than those poorest people, most likely they can afford to take a little bit of a hit. Nobody wants to take a hit, but they can afford to take a hit. And he's saying if you pay off those people first, the 99.6 of the poorest, and make them 100% whole, you'll be going a really long way to making everything right. And guess who bought in? CZ, the CEO of Binance, Vitalik Buterin, the one of the founders of Ethereum. They both said nobody wants to lose money off until after that, if at all. That's big. That's big. It's a smart PR move by CZ, but it's also, I think, real. Right? I think it's a real thing. He doesn't have the opportunity to BS people. He'll get called out on it like with a quickness. The internet does not play with that stuff. So he will get called out. So I believe when he says, listen, take care of the small people first. Those are the people that are going to get hit the hardest. Who got hit the hardest. So it's a big deal, and I actually agree with them. I think that's a great thing to do, is take care of the small people first, then take care of the big people. Right? Take care of the companies. Take care of these small accounts first. And then move on from there. Now, as far as coins go, I don't see a path forward for them, an easy path forward for them to get back to where they were. I think it would be a really long time if that was the case, if they wanted to try that. But in terms of support from the public, I think that would garner them a lot of support from the public if they would do something like that, right? I think that's a big deal. Anyway, let's get to the numbers, because I'm expecting a lot of sideways movement. I'm expecting a lot of ups and downs, which means high volatility, right? That's what I'm looking for. But first, let's go on over. I want to take a look at what's going on in my charts. There you are. All right, so in the charts, obviously, this is going to be, the story for a while. So let's not even talk about that. But look at this. You have decentralized social coming down. Excuse me, they were up before. Pocket Network down. Who was it? Gala down 6%. They were down more than that before, but they're down now. And this is what I mean by you can play the ups and downs. You're not going to be able to call the ups and downs, but you can kind of look at the rhythm. There are numbers out there. You can start looking at the rhythm, and you can say, well, this is going to be my investment, my long-term investment, and this is what I'm going to try to make money off of, quote unquote, day trading, right? I don't have time for that, so I'm not paying attention to it, all that much. But I do know that you can make money, when something is down, because you can see, I think it was yesterday, Gala was up. So you're looking at Gala being up yesterday and down now. Yeah, that was an opportunity. So as it's down, I would think about getting in. I absolutely would think about getting in. We've got a couple of projects on my side, so I'm sticking to my DCA plan, but this is something that I would get into. I'd be paying attention to a coin that I know, right? And yes, I might have already invested in it in terms of long term, but I'd be paying attention to a coin that I know to see, oh, did it take a hit? Let me see if I can have another wallet where I can get in on that hit and get out when it rises again. Because again, I'm not expecting this to actually go up anytime soon. And if it does, I have my hold wallets. That's what I teach my kids. I have my hold wallets. I have my play wallets. When I have time to play, this is what I do. So it's something to pay attention to. It's something that you can really, make money on if you have time. It takes time to actually look at how things move, and you can't be faint of heart. You can't be, whiny about it. Just saying. TVL, kind of about the same place as yesterday. Total value locked. Fear and greed index. I refreshed this just a little while ago. Look at that. It's at 14. It was at 10 yesterday. So I'm not saying that's a great move forward, but it is a move forward. It is a move forward. Bitcoin still hovering and bouncing in that range, just above and just below the 30,000 mark. My number for this is going to be, well, I don't want to see it again, but if we get back into the 25,000s, which I think is still a possibility, I think we can still dip below 25,000. Right? But from where we are, I think we can still go a little bit further down with possibly bouncing off of the 25,000. But my next number up is going to be 32. I'm sure there are more technical people that'll tell you a specific number, but I'm just looking at 32,000 as my next positive move up. But a sustained move up. That would tell me that if it was to hit 32, that would be the new bounce place, right? And then you might see a stair step up. I don't know that there's going to be, unless there's a quick end to the Russian criminal actions in Ukraine. I think that's what would be that could be a catalyst. I think supply chain issues, that could be things go better. Obviously, if the pandemic was being better handled in China, you have less supply chain issues. If countries around the world would take back their own manufacturing, that would decrease supply chain issues. There are a lot of things around that. So that's what I look at. And every time I think supply chain issues, you know what I think of? I don't think of stocks. I think of VeChain. They specialize in supply chain. So imagine those smart contracts happening and things like that. That's what they specialize in. So, I do that much research and that much digging down. So I can, when I look at a particular space, a particular market sector, I can correlate, a coin that I'm involved in that would do it, like Gala is for gaming, UFO games, obviously for gaming. But I look at certain things and I just go, wow, that's going to be a big deal. And to me, that's going to be a very big deal. So that's what I look at. Cryptocurrencies in general are still on. This ETH is barely over $2,003, barely over. These are sale prices to me. Again, basically sale prices. Now, for me personally, I'm stocking up on a few coins like Doge, like SHIB, snatched up some Gala, Algorand. Who was the other one? Cardano was another one that I. I'll probably do some more snatching, throughout this week, little bits. And the reason why is because, again, I want to DCA, I want to get in, and I want to make money on the way down as it keeps bumping, and I want to make money on the way back up. So DCAing allows me to make more money faster on the way back up. And the way back up, I think, will happen by the end of the year. I really do think it'll happen by the end of the year. And when it does, I think it's going to be a huge explosion up. Big explosion up, right? I think there are technologies out there that are changing things. If we're actually looking at a recession, companies are going to be looking for, how can I save money? Or how can I recoup my money, right? And credit card payments are not really a great way to make your money back, right? Anywhere between 1.9 and, if you're a small business on Etsy, you're paying 6.5%. Right, for their whole marketing thing, plus the credit card, all that good stuff. So all in, you're paying up to 6.5%. But for credit cards online, you're probably paying anywhere between 1.9 and 3.9%. For the most part, I think you're even paying 2.9 to 3.9, and 1.9 is for in-store. You have the card in your hand. Well, if you're using crypto, somebody said to me, Patrick, hey, why should I pay with fiat when I can pay with crypto? Well, because I think as things go forward and companies like mine help other businesses accept cryptocurrencies as payment, what you're going to wind up seeing is those companies ask you to pay with crypto. Why? Because they keep more of their money, and they get their money that day, not a couple of days later, and then have to wait 30 days and all that. They get their money that day. You get your product or service that day, they get their money that day. And that's a big deal. For small business, those small percentages, what you believe are small percentages, really do make a big difference. That can make a difference between staying open and staying in business, staying alive, putting food on the table, versus I just can't afford to do this anymore. And you might think it's crazy. For those people that think that idea is crazy, think about how many businesses, the war that happened between American Express versus MasterCard and Visa, saying, listen, we cost less. So there was a big deal, a big push for those credit card companies to get more businesses online. So there was actually team between MasterCard and Visa versus, American Express. More businesses accept MasterCard and Visa. And I suspect that the same thing will happen with crypto. Once businesses become comfortable accepting crypto, and they'll accept crypto alongside accepting credit cards. So I think that when that starts to happen, you'll start to see adoption grow. As you start to see adoption grow, that's what's really going to take off. And my company, Rebel Reach, plans on being one of those companies. We'll have more news by the end of the year. By the end of this month, rather, sorry. But this is what I'm looking at when I look at crypto. XRP, I think, is on crazy sale. Just wow. Doge, obviously, is on crazy sale because if Elon says one tiny little thing, Doge will pop up. So to me, I think, I'm probably going to buy a little bit more Doge. Algorand, I think, has a future ahead of it. So there are a few reasons why I want to get in. But again, one of the reasons why I get in is because I'm looking at, foundational companies, companies that are building long-term foundations for crypto, even as the crypto market is taking a big hit. That's what I'm paying attention to. I'm paying attention to things like AMC Theaters. Everybody laughed at AMC when they said, oh, we're going to accept crypto. They thought it was some kind of a marketing ploy. And maybe it was. But guess what? 35% in first quarter? 35% first quarter of their online sales were made in crypto? Yeah, not such a marketing ploy now, huh? That's like a real big deal. So that means that on more transactions, they got to keep more of their money. Actually, think about it. They got to keep all of their money. You paid via crypto, they got their money. They got full price, not, credit card company, banks, and everybody else taking a percentage here, a percentage there out of the whole credit card process. And I do have a video out there about the difference between a crypto transaction and a credit card transaction and why crypto is so much better than credit cards. So go check out that video. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. I hope you have a great day. I will try, I'm not going to make any promises, but I will try to make another video later on today if I see any news that's worthwhile to make, another video. Anyway, if you like what I'm doing on Eddie J on crypto, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and absolutely hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm dropping another video. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.